Welcome to Signal to Alpha, your essential market briefing. I'm Lady Muriel, cutting through the noise to deliver what moves markets today. Let's get you your alpha before the opening bell. Let's start with the biggest market mover today: oil. The International Energy Agency just announced the largest coordinated emergency oil release in its 50-year history. 32 developed nations are releasing 400 million barrels combined in response to Middle East conflicts and resulting market disruptions. This dwarfs the previous record from March and April 2022, when countries released 182.7 million barrels following Russia's Ukraine invasion. Oil prices had surged past $115 per barrel on Monday, the highest since 2022, up dramatically from the pre-conflict range of $60 to $70. Markets are already correcting downward as military victories suggest a shorter conflict timeline than initially feared. Here's what this means for your portfolio. Energy sector volatility remains elevated, but the strategic reserve release provides a cushion against supply disruptions. The U.S. is contributing 172 million barrels. Watch transportation and logistics stocks closely, as fuel costs directly impact margins. On the legislative front, Senate gridlock is creating uncertainty. The Department of Homeland Security remains unfunded as Republicans and Democrats clash over immigration and customs enforcement reforms. Senator John Thune wants DHS reopened short-term while negotiations continue separately. Democrats demand reforms including judicial warrants for ICE agents before approving funding. Meanwhile, Trump's Save America Act requiring voter ID is headed for defeat next week. Housing policy is advancing with bipartisan support, but watch for friction ahead. The Housing for the 21st Century Act passed the House 390-9 last month and is moving through the Senate. However, a Trump-backed provision banning institutional investors from purchasing single-family homes faces resistance. The measure would force companies exceeding 350 units to divest within 7 years. Housing industry groups warn this would reduce supply and options for renters. Corporate governance news. The House Oversight Committee is demanding depositions from Attorney General Pam Bondi and Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick in its Epstein investigation. This follows testimony from Epstein's accountant, Richard Kahn, who stated he never saw financial transactions between Epstein and President Trump or his family. Wine industry faces structural headwinds worth noting. The sector lost over $1 billion in revenue last year. California vineyard acreage contracted from 600,000 acres to 477,475 acres in 2025. The driver? Demographics. Gallup polling shows U.S. adult alcohol consumption fell to 54%, the lowest in decades, as millennials and Gen Z prioritize health and wellness. Major producers, including Jackson Family Wines and E&J Gallo, have closed facilities. That's your signal to alpha for today. Subscribe for tomorrow's essential market briefing. Trade smart, stay informed. Check us out at capitalcopilot.io.